85, 86, you 80, baby. 87 to like, you 90, baby.
Yeah.
You say that because you were born when?
89.
Oh.
91. Look.
You're born 91.
Whippersnapper.
That's why you're trying to push everybody to 90. You're trying to be everybody yourself.
That's cool.
No, we did with Shanice.
First of all, nobody was even talking about it.
Shanice is 89, right?
No, Shanice is
I'm 90. I'm early 90.
1990.
I'm going to be 30 in April.
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
What we going to do?
88.
30. Everybody.
Yeah, what are you?
87?
87?
I was at work.
In the 90s.
I was at work for like actually.
What is happening?
Yeah, you loud. I mean, you lied.
I didn't know.
And loud.
Oh, I'm like, who's talking?
Yeah, I was making sure that always worked. That's why.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. That's Shanique talking about that defiled mouth. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
What?
Somebody asked me outside. That's how
Look, my
I know.
baby was
What?
tired.
She talking about eating sausage
Laid
again?
up in my lap.
You should have saw she.
Seafood?
30. Everybody go. We're going to pass calculators around.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you.
That's crazy.
Love you some.
It was a joke.
Crab leg, man.
Be quiet.
That thing used to be good, but like, just I don't eat the foul food, so it's like, yeah.
That thing's never been good, first of all. And that
Yes,
thing's
it
never
has.
been food. You can find a place to stay.
You said I could never bring it in this house.
You need to.
Understandable. But
That's it.
crab legs
That's
That's it. That's it.
it.
I've never been bit by a shark. That's it.
That's it. I'm in a very elite. What do you say?
I'm a shark attack survivor. I'm part of an elite group.
Oh man, Sabbath peace.
Sabbath
office
peace.
goes off.
There's another opportunity for us to hear and learn of the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We understand that if we do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that we do not believe. Oh!
Something works. Something works.
In this state.
In this state!
That's right. In this state, we should not expect
Any good thing.
Any good thing from,
The Most High God.
however, anything that we
Should receive.
do get,
May it be. What you say? Gift of tongue.
whether it be,
Gift
How?
of tongues, gift of prophet.
Can I help you today?
That's her.
I mean, you can't get nothing
That's her
done.
utopia.
We all trying to figure out what's next, bro.
Sorry. I couldn't help it, bro. That was
You can't
like
get
too
nothing
perfect.
done today.
Sorry.
Where are we at?
Gift of tongue.
In this day, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a
Gift of tongues.
Or a-
gift of prophet.
or any
Supernatural.
experience that you may have, can.
And will.
Oh, y'all know this part because y'all watch Cops.
Against you in the day of judgment.
That's what the cops.
Can and will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said,
Peace to the
Peace
saints
to
in
the
the room.
saints in the room.
Peace to the saints watching it. No peace to the wicked. Only thing we say to them is repent.
That they might live.
And that they might live.
that they might live.
Period.
No, last thing I always say is, all right?
Clap.
Yeah, clap. All right? Let's do it.
Last week.
That's what you get off it.
All right, now y'all taking a little too far. I want y'all to relax. Everybody relax. I don't know what we were last week. What we were talking about?
Every week.
I'm talking about the prophets. Who was I think it was in Haggai. I think it was in Ezra.
We going along with what he's saying?
You got the paper.
Well, I know we.
So, you were just talking about 2 or 3 witnesses. You gotta have 2 or 3 witnesses. Anybody listening, your 2 or 3 witnesses though.
6, 7.
Yeah, but nah. The book say, grab grab Exodus chapter What I want? Exodus chapter. Give me.
Don't use me as an example.
Give me Exodus chapter 23, verse 1.
Doesn't have nothing to do with it.
Shanice trying to come in here with this heresy, so we gotta, maybe we gotta line her butt up real quick. Then we can get to our regular program. What is it? Regular scheduled program.
You said what?
Should be. Let's do Exodus.
He said 23:1. Let's keep going.
Is it 23:1? So it's Exodus. Yeah, Exodus chapter 20, 10 Commandments, 21, 22, 20. Yeah, so it should be 23:1, because 24 is when they seal the covenant. So Exodus chapter 23. Give me verse 1.
Thou shalt not raise a false report.
You shall not raise a false report. Keep reading, watch it.
Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Don't put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Watch it.
You shall not follow the multitude to do evil.
So, I mean, you can have a whole multitude of people saying something that's absolutely wrong. How many witnesses you got?
2 or 3.
That thing's still wrong. That's all I'm saying. You got a whole bunch of Gentiles telling you what your name means. Listen, I can't put my hand. What the book say? Thou shalt not what?
Still be
Raise a
jealous of
false
other people having
report. You get come
That's
up.
what thou shalt not be. Just jealous.
I don't care what you say. Ain't no Shanice coming from no Yahoo Hana. No even sound. I mean, no even sound. It just look like they just flipped all the letters around and just say, okay, no, Shanice. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that thing don't work. Read it one more time.
Thou shalt not raise a false report.
Now, this is actually important, though, seriously. So we look at it. Book tell us, thou shalt not raise a false report. So it's telling them not to be no liars, right? But more specifically, not to be lying on people to try to get them in trouble, right? Putting people in a bad position, right? It's specifically what it's talking about, right? Keep going, watch this.
Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
A lot of times you'll have people that have that mindset, right? That want to do something we sometimes recognize that is wrong. I don't want to kill too much time, but I almost want to show y'all with the kids. I guarantee I can call these kids up right now and put them in there, put them in a situation where they feel comfortable, right? And then tell the kids that one of them is doing something that all of them looking at he ain't doing, but then I threaten them or something like, I'm going to whoop y'all butt. You know you saw him do it. And all of them, one by one, you probably might have one with some integrity in the group. But for the most part, they all just going to be like, yeah, I saw him do it too. Right? Not because they liars or anything, but just because we get scared and we see an authority figure and we start like, okay, well, we just gonna go with it. Right? Quiet as kept, that's how the whole world is working right now. You just got a bunch of bullies, right? And the multitudes go for it. So right now, me and T were just talking about it. You have a lot of people not comfortable with this gay stuff. Right? A lot of people are just not comfortable with the gay stuff. However, these people are act comfortable when you bring it up and be like, well, everybody, let everybody do, to each their own. They just do what they do. But really, in real life, they're not comfortable with it. Behind closed doors. It's not what they would prefer. But you just are afraid to even say, like, so now they got you feeling like if you don't make a homosexual feel like they just as normal as you are for being a heterosexual, then you a bigot. Or you a homophobic. Right? That's how they treat you. So now they pressure you into going to the direction that they want. Because now they're going to vilify you and make you seem like you hate people. Twisting your words up. I don't hate them, they just wrong. Why I gotta say your stuff the same in mine when I know it's not? That's crazy. You mean tell me, you know what I'm saying? You going up the darn laundry chute and that's supposed to be the same as mine? That's crazy. It don't make no darn sense. The thing is against nature.
Yeah.
I remember I told him we was arguing. I didn't tell him, but somebody said in the class, I used to when I was in college, I used to always at CSN, you know what I'm saying? I used to always be in the class, and they used to always try to teach us some gay stuff. Try to tell us how, gender is a social construct, and this, that, and the other. That's just stupid stuff. And so they used to always talk about this. So like every class we gotta talk about some gay stuff. Every single class, y'all trying to push this gay stuff. So I was like, all right, y'all gonna get tired of me in here. Every time we gonna argue about it. So I used to argue with him. And there was one dude, eventually I start convincing people to kind of, speak up. Because people not comfortable with it, but they just feel the pressure. So this one dude was like, I'll tell you what, How about we play this scenario out? We just put 100 gay people on an island with no other contact. And let's come back in 100 years and let's see what happens. And I said, that's genius. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we put 100 gay people on one island, leave them there, no contact from the outside world, and all the same sex, you know what I'm saying? And let's just come back in 100 years and see where they are. And then, you know what I'm saying, we'll let everybody else, who we can say are natural, and y'all say it's just as natural, and let's just see what happens. I was like, that is the most simple, ingenious way of putting it. Y'all butts not gonna be around. Y'all butts is done. Cause there's nothing natural about it. Let me see your butt evolve. You know what I'm saying? Once you evolve, make it happen. Let's just see. I like the experiment. Let their butt down, you know what I'm saying? But that's where we are. People are not looking logic. So now you got to say, they want you to say it's natural. It's just as natural to be a homosexual or a transgender. You tell me it's just as natural for me to physically be something, but internally want to be something else. You trying to tell me that's natural? If physically I'm something, internally I'm something, that is a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no other, that is a mental problem. Like, you mentally want to be something different than what you are. That's no different from somebody who's depressed all the time. Depression means that mentally you want to be in a different position than what you are physically. And you're plagued by it. You haven't come to terms with reality. We had no problem calling that a mental disorder. How is that any different from a transgender or a person who calls themselves transgender? It's not any different. Reality is, this is what I am, right? Physically. I just am under, they just came out with a science thing. They said the gay gene don't exist. I read an article on it. You know what I'm saying? Like they, you know what I'm saying? They kind of, they've been pushing this gay gene stuff since I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Probably before that. You know what I'm saying? But saying, you know, it's a gay gene. Now, I remember when I was in CSN making them arguments, I gave them that. I'm like, man, let's say you got a gene. Let's say it's a gay gene, but what is a gay gene if it was a gay gene? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is being gay? What is that? You know what I'm saying? What is it to be gay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be in the act, right? You gotta have the actual act, and then you're gay. You being attracted to somebody, that's all internal. I don't know that unless you tell me. I don't have a problem with that. You can have whatever you want internally, right? Books say, give me Mark chapter 7, give me verse 21. In Mark chapter 7, give me verse 20. It's Mark chapter 7, verse 20. Hey, let's see here. One thing we not like us. We don't know nothing about it. You know, you might find a Christian that, you know, really don't like homosexuality, right? And sometimes they'll say some stuff, and although we might agree with it, it's not fair, right? Sometimes they say some stuff and we might agree with it, but it's not fair. I don't want to say we even agree with it. It may, you know what I'm saying, on the surface we might seem like we agree with it, but really they thinking it's not fair, right? If you can't get on the person who having sex with some girl or some man that they ain't married to, you can't get on them any different than you get on the homosexual. Period. What?
It was just like,
I'm about to say, this ain't no opportunity for you to come out now. I ain't trying to hear.
There was a little girl who was like 15 years old on Dr. Phil's show, and she was saying that she's white, that she doesn't identify herself as a black girl or on any other stuff. Did her hair white, everything white, but she's black.
She's a black girl saying that?
Black girl.
Oh, I bet you they call that thing a mental illness. You know, I bet they gon'.
She said all these like real offensive things towards black people because she feels she's really not black. Mm-hmm. And it was just funny to see that black people were upset with her, but these are the same black people that also would say, people have the right to love who they love and, leave the gay people alone, or I really have no problem with it. But yet you'll get so offended about a black girl who says she's white, who really feels internally that she's a white lady. That's the corner that this stuff puts you in. It's not logical. You're never going to be able to follow up all the logic, not without making yourself look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? It's Mark chapter 7, give me verse 20.
And he said, that which comes out of the man, that defiles the man.
Right? So it's the stuff that come out of the man. If I got something internally, did it come out? Okay. So if I got something internally, so far, from what Yahushua said, it don't defile me. Let's keep going. Let's make sure he don't say nothing else.
For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
So it's from within come out your evil thoughts. And let's see what way. Because, look, evil thoughts. Okay. It says come out evil thoughts.
Come out of the heart of men. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
So this is where evil thoughts come from. Let's see what they look like when they come out, right? Let's see.
Evil thoughts, adulteries,
fornications, murders,
thefts,
covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness,
an evil eye,
blasphemy,
pride.
What's an evil eye?
Trying to knock somebody out.
Evil eye just looking to do evil. Right? I mean, you planning. I mean, you looking it out. You like, okay, flipping over in your head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you looking for opportunity to just be evil. Premeditated, right? Come on.
Blasphemy.
Y'all hush.
Pride. Foolishness. All these evil things come from within.
Notice foolishness is in there. These people they didn't know no better. That was foolish. Some of this stuff is just foolish. Right? Some stuff is just ignorant. Some stuff is just stupid. That thing is a sin. A lot of people don't realize that. That thing's a sin. Just to be out here just being stupid is just a sin. That in itself. A lot of people don't realize that. It's one thing to just be ignorant, right? You didn't know that you didn't have the information. Right? That's not a sin if you didn't know the information. Right? You might end up sinning because you didn't know something, but not knowing something in itself is not a sin. Being stupid is a sin. Right? You knowing something and you just making a bad decision based off of what you know, that's a sin. Book say it, don't it? It says, for the one who knows to do good and does not,
It's for him to sin.
that got that. That got that. Christians try to make us feel like to do good. I mean, that could be anything. The Bible. That's how Christians make it. That's how Christians get this stuff where everything you do is a sin, technically. Yeah. Right? That's where they get that from. Because it's like, well, if you know to do good and you don't do it, it's a sin. No, you know what's good? Obeying the Most High God. Following no commandment. This ain't no magical like, oh, well, there's a world of good. The one time that you walked past a bum, it would have been good to hand him $1, but you didn't, so that was a sin. Shut up! These people will make you do, they'll turn anything into a sin just so they can feel comfortable in their darn sin.
Somebody said to me, she was like, have you ever we was talking about like abortion or something.
Mm-hmm.
Saying about something. And she was like, and she asked me, I was like, yeah, for sure. Like it's murder. And she was like, well,
I thought you were about to say you had some abortion.
Oh, no. And she was like, she said, well, have you killed a fly? I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I've been done that. I'll be like, you know what, I'm about to kill you in a second. Yo, but goodness
You
gracious.
compare a baby to a fly, like for real.
These people are sick, bro. The way they brain, but that foolishness, it's just we've been conditioned to where our brains don't even operate. You know what I mean? Like we've been faced with so many contradictions from a young age. They just teach us stuff that don't make any sense whatsoever. Like none. They just constantly just flood our brains with stuff that really don't make sense. That at a young age, we get used to stuff not making sense. And when your brain is used to things not connecting, not making sense, that means that you are able to jump to conclusions without our natural ability to be like, wait a minute, that shouldn't happen. Right? Naturally, we have something in us that like when you jump, you go too far, naturally you have something that's telling you, wait, that doesn't line up. Like the evidence is not there, right? We've been, since a young age, we've been taught how to ignore that. So now, as older adults and all that, that's where you have what's called, Cognitive dissonance, right? Because that is basically saying it's a contradiction apparent to you, but it's being ignored, right? That's what happens to it. That's why it's important. Don't teach. You teaching your kid about Santa. Right, always you, because this is an easy one, right? You teach your kid about Santa. You say, okay, Santa's real. Right, okay, Santa's real. And there's an elf on the shelf. And what else they teach? What else? This is Jesus' birthday. Right? All these different things, right? You grow up and you realize all these things is lies. All of us have probably been taught at some point or believed at some point that Santa was real or whatever, right? And I don't know if all of us can think of the exact moment that we found out that was a lie.
Oh no, I know.
But it was, was it offensive to you?
I was super upset. How y'all gonna lie to me this whole time?
And so you do that, and then what your parent tell you?
We were trying to keep you,
Give you a nice childhood.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
Make it fun. So now what did that do to you?
Not trust them.
Well, internally, that's what it do. Right? But another thing that it do, it teaches you to be okay with a lie. It's like, oh, well, this is a contradict. Lying is wrong except for this. So it's like, okay, this alarm that went off in your brain, that wasn't supposed to happen. Why did my parents lie to me? It was subsided by this whack theory that this is a good childhood to lie. So imagine like that's happening. That's not the only thing to fear. I mean, all these little things, then we grow up and we call them what? Little things. So our minds are programmed, and then it's happening at school. It's happening everywhere. They tell you at school, separation of what?
Religion and state.
Church and state.
Separation of church and state, right? And ain't how you believe in that's where. Yeah, it'd be like, that's in our Constitution. That's what, the way they tell you, it'd be like, that's in our Constitution. But then on the dollar bill, it'll say what? And who print the money? Contradict constantly. This is just constantly. This is what we're around, right? Matter of fact, let's go take it even further. Separation of church and state. But then the politicians go where when they wanted the black folks to vote for them?
Go to the black church.
Then hold on. This we just gonna follow this one example, right? We just gonna follow it. Then you go to work and you tell people you don't want to argue two topics.
Politics.
Politics and religion.
These people make a fool out of us. Absolute fool out of us. Right? That's why when we teach our kids, we got to teach stuff flat. Right? But you got to give it to them. This is real. And be honest with yourself. That way you can be honest with other people. The more you lie to yourself, the harder it is to see the truth. Let me tell you how things get real easy. Obey this book. What I want? Give me John, what I want, 7:14? Or John 14:7. I want 7:14. This is John chapter 7. Give me verse 14. Yeah, after that we can actually start, getting into what we were going to talk about. Because last week we talked about, I really don't remember what we talked about last week.
Ezra, Haggai, how they was trying to stop them.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cause
They're trying to stop him from building the wall. Wasn't we past? I thought that was the week before.
You bring in little, you bring in much, but you say you so much.
Ah, we dealing with the prophecy, yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to get to that. Give me John chapter 7. Give me verse 14.
Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught.
Right? Y'all sure he went into the temple and he started teaching. That boy started laying it down. Man, that had to be, that had to be something to watch Yahushua teach. Book said that man taught it with authority. You know what I'm talking about? That boy didn't teach it like somebody taught him. He taught it like he wrote the thing. That had to be something, man. Just sit here and have him open up the book. We ain't really got nothing to where it described what he said when he opened up the books. You know what I'm talking about? We got little pieces of what it said, but they ain't really get it. And I think it's purposeful. Like he had probably laying it out, and people probably didn't get it at the time. But I bet you, we'd get it. You know what I'm saying? Just because we got, not because we special, just because all of the book been laid out for us. You know what I'm saying? So much time has passed. You know what I'm saying? He probably hitting them off some stuff that, people probably, that thing probably just slapping them across the head, and they like, it's a bad boy. Watch this.
And the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned?
Look, you see him? They watch the man teaching, they looking like, they scratching their darn head like, I don't know why that boy so bad with these books. He ain't never been to seminary. That's a bad boy. That boy opening them things up. I remember I used to read the Bible. That's what I wanted to be. I used to be like, man, I want to be open that thing. I just want people to be like that with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to open that thing up like Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? I had these people looking at me like, you ain't never been to seminary? How you know to open or work that book like that? These liars wouldn't even ask that question now. These liars won't even give you they ain't even, cause they too smart in they darn lies. They ain't even gonna ask you, cause they know what that's gonna turn out. They ask that question. Now they're just gonna be like, you don't know what you're talking about. That thing different. I'm trying to tell you, we got a different type of lie. When Yahushua died, who came down? Satan came down, right? Didn't the book say, oh, it's going to be a lot worse for him now? I'm trying to tell you. My personal theory, that's when all these people turned into real liars. You know what I'm saying? When he came down, I think that thing just got turned up. You look back here, these people had a little, even the liars in the book had integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, they asked a question like, how that man work that book like that? These people ain't never going to say that. Not now. They going to just sit here in front of you like, it wasn't all that good to me. Keep going, watch it.
And Yahshua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine. But
he said, my doctrine is not mine, but watch this.
But his that sent me.
But it's the one that sent me. That means it's the Father's. Watch this.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
You want something to make sense? You want to be able to recognize stuff? You want to be able for things, the whole world to line up to you? Obey this book. He said, the one that do his will, right? In other words, the one that obey this book, oh, he'll know whether the doctrine, where the doctrine comes from. Because you know, right? When you start restricting yourself according to the book, it does something to your mind. It's different. It just does something to your mind. You don't see things the same way. Your mind is opened up because you're restricted. When you can just run around, do whatever you want to do, you will never find the truth. There's too many options. When you limit yourself and say, okay, you can only, it's like that Star Wars game. You know what I'm saying? We play a Star Wars game. And I mean, it just seemed like you could do anything. Really, you can't. But it seemed like you could do anything. You look at it just like, man, it seemed like I can probably swing from that and climb on this and do all these other things. And okay, I need to get this. All the options all over the place. You press a little button, that thing give you a hint. Once you got that hint, it's like, look over there. Right? That restricts it, right? I mean, you don't have to listen to it. If you don't listen to it, then you're not restricted. But if you listen to it, it's like, okay, I'm not looking all over the place and just happen to land on something by chance. I know I have to look in this direction. You know how much area that cuts off that you had to search for? That's how the book is. Obey it, and it's like, listen, you ain't got to do all this extra stuff. Just obey it. I'm going to put you in the right direction. And the more you obey, the tighter that thing get. And that's how you want it. You just want it in a tight spot where I can't go to the left or to the right. Because you know, whatever you're looking for is straight ahead. All this other, these people you get these Christian denominations, boy, ain't nothing worse than a non-denominational Christian. How your denomination non-denomination? That thing is nuts to me. I'm looking like y'all call yourself anything but what the book, I mean, y'all will call yourself anything except what the book called you.
Pastor still gotta go to the seminary.
You know you're going to a darn seminary. Matter of fact, he fancy. You know what type of seminary you're going to? The non-denominational. Make a darn fool out of him. That's how your seminaries are set up, though, in real life. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to tell you, but a lot of seminary, you talk to your pastor, you're not just going to go to any seminary. You know what seminary you're going to go to? The one that's going to teach you about your denomination. Because I'm not going to go to no Catholic seminary. That doesn't make sense when I'm a Baptist. So I'm going to go to a Baptist-friendly seminary. Then they're going to teach me how to be a proper, I mean, they're going to be scholars in being a Baptist.
I want to know what they be teaching them in this. Like, what exactly are y'all learning?
A whole bunch of darn mess. Whole bunch of darn mess is what they darn teach.
Courtesies and customs in the church.
They teach you how to open a church. That's what it is. They teach you how to run a church. Teach you how to collect tithes. Teach you how to, you know what I'm saying, how to attract people. You know what I'm saying? Teach you how to say things in a way that'll keep people in your pews.
How to let the spirit flow.
Oh yeah, all that. I mean, don't let you go to a Pentecostal darn seminary. Oh yeah, they teach you how to put the oil on your hand, slap it over their forehead one time. You know what I'm saying? Bring these boys out like a factory. Anybody mess with that? So y'all be quiet down there. Anybody mess with that stuff? It's important that we know the truth and we can That boy knocked out. Goodness gracious. It's important that we know the truth and that we can understand it, right? We can see, we can spot the lies, and once we spot the lies, we can kind of pivot and, you know what I'm saying, move away from them. This stuff getting dangerous, especially for these kids, man. It's a wild world that we growing in, man. This stuff, the stuff I see, and the stuff that people sign off on, and the stuff that people are scared to speak up on, and it's like, even, you know, I ain't scared to speak up on nothing, so even when I speak up on it, it's like people don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these topics I argue about, I'm like, y'all legit, like, just don't understand. Like, it's like, it's not even, like, y'all, it's not even, like, y'all, it's not even clicking for y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's an attack on black men. Like, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, black women are not primarily being attacked by black men, and even if they were, it's a result of black men and black people in general being attacked. You know what I'm saying? So now, just like we was used to torpedo our community, because that's a fact, right? Black men were used, they were tricked, and they were duped and seduced into torpedoing the black community, right? Into leading the black community into ruins and not respecting the black community and not being a leader in the black community. And some of us were killed, were the ones who had integrity or had at least some integrity in some respects. They were killed. Right? So you leave women or whatever in the position that they in. But now it's like, now the opposite is happening. Now it's like, okay, well, let's use black women. And it's like, I explain these ideas and I know, like, one thing I know is I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when stuff makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't no liar. I know stuff makes sense. And I know I ain't the type of person to be like, if I'm wrong, like, well, I'm not going to admit it. I know that about myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, you're not just about to tell me anything. But these people, they just don't, they don't see it. They don't get it. It doesn't click. People will sit here and argue about the simplest thing, facts right in front of them, and they don't matter. The facts don't matter. It's a dangerous time. It's just people believe whatever, like we started, whatever the masses say. Right? If more people in a group that they respect, right? It's not just masses, period. It's about a group that they respect. That's why this Republican, Democrat thing has never been worse, right? Because you could have facts right there. Right? Facts right there. It's fact. Let me tell you how crazy people are. No doubt in my mind, Trump leveraged, right? No doubt in my mind, Trump leveraged relationships with another country to try to get his political opponent investigated for his own political advantage. There's no doubt in my mind about it, right? No doubt. Right? He withheld funding, I guess you could say. Withheld funding or opportunity to buy weapons is what he really did. He withheld funding from Ukraine, and definitely in a very, slick way where they can't really prove it necessarily. He was trying to get Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden, which was the vice president under Obama. Okay? So then, causes outrage with the Democrats. Makes sense. Because that's something that, it's like, it's creepy. It's weird, right? You do it. All presidents have done it. But you got caught doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty obvious that you did it. Other presidents, it's like they kept it undercover. They paid people off. Ain't nobody gonna talk about it. Everybody hates you. So when you do it, it's, that thing ain't gonna be front page news. Okay, great. So it's out there. The whole world know about it. It's on the spotlight. Fine. So now Trump says, well, are y'all gonna ask me what I was trying to get him investigated for? Let me tell you guys. So Joe Biden, same Ukraine, Trump did Ukraine, withheld funds, said, we'll give it to you. Didn't really say it, but we know what was really going on. It's like, yo, we'll give you the money, we'll give you the opportunity to buy weapons as long as you investigate him. Publicly say you're going to investigate him. Cool. Okay, so what would Joe Biden need to be investigated for? He has a son that works in Ukraine for a gas company. And his son being paid like 50 G's a month. His son has no background in gas, right? No experience, doesn't speak Ukrainian, right? Had no business over there, but somehow got this great position, His dad happens to be the vice president at the time, while we're doing work in Ukraine, right? Okay, no big deal, right? His son was being investigated. Well, not his son, the company that his son worked for was being investigated. For what? Corruption. Okay, this is all happening under Obama. At this same time, his dad, Joe Biden, says, hey, Ukraine, if you don't stop this investigation and fire that prosecutor, Obama is not going to give you, I think it was like $1 billion in funding. So, those are facts, right? Those, what I just told you, facts. It's not like I'm like misrepresenting. Those are all factual things. I could play a tape of Joe Biden saying it out of his own mouth, saying what he did, bragging about it, right? Now, Joe Biden never said that he was doing it because of his son. He never mentioned his son, right? But at the very least, doesn't that say, wait a minute, I wonder if his motive, his son is working at the company that's being investigated by this prosecutor. He asked for this prosecutor to be fired by Ukraine. He told Ukraine if they don't do it, they don't get the money. Trump said, investigate Joe Biden. If you don't do it, you don't get the money. Are these things not the same thing? However, Republicans are saying, investigate Joe Biden, don't investigate Trump. And then Democrats are saying, investigate Trump, don't investigate Joe Biden. All the facts are there, though. And guess what? Each side pretend they don't see the facts that's against them. That's the world that we're living in. Where these people, this impeachment, everything we seeing on the news about, that's what this is about. And these people full-throatedly will attack one another, acting like the same set of facts are not operating on the other side of it. It's a dangerous place, and people are fully convinced, or at least pretend like they're fully convinced. And because the majority of their group that they respect are going with it, they go along with it. That's why we started out reading Exodus chapter 23, where it said, do not put your hand with the multitudes to do evil. We can't roll with that stuff. People ask me, what you think about the impeachment? That thing ain't got nothing to do with me. That thing has nothing to do with me. As these white folks having they battle about their power. Y'all be quiet. Right? They having they battle about their power. Right? They don't try to pull me in y'all stuff. Y'all not using me for y'all stuff no more. I'm good. I'm good. It comes time to vote. I'm gonna vote for, you know what I'm saying, homeboy around, what's his name? William McCurdy? Around the corner, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna vote for my boy. You know what I'm talking about? Mike, you know what I'm saying? I gotta check him out still, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? If it happened today, that's what I'm voting for. William McCurdy, you know what I'm saying? West Side, you know what I'm saying? He run this area. I'm talking about, I ain't voting for these people. I ain't voting for no darn Trump, no darn Hillary, no darn, what else? Joe Biden. No, I ain't voting for no darn Joe Biden. I ain't voting for no darn, what's the other one? Bernie Sanders. These people try to push that Bernie Sanders.
They push it hard too. I just want y'all
If you try to give me another president that's supposed to get, but he's going to eliminate college debt. Yeah, for all the rich people too. So what'd that do for me? Well, you know, if you take the boat, the rising boat, if you rise the tide, all the boats rise with it. That's what they try to make you think. Like, okay, so you paint a picture of me pouring water. It's like put a bunch of little boats inside the tub and then pour water in it, and all the boats gonna come up with the tub. That thing make a lot of logical sense until you realize I'm already underwater.
Some boats we don't even got a boat.
You know what I'm saying? You got me at the bottom of the darn sea in an anchor, and you telling me about pouring more water. I'm trying to swim to the top already, and you telling me about pouring more water in here. I'm supposed to be better off. What'd that do to me if I'm already trying to swim to the top? That give me a further distance to swim. That's the lie. But they had tried to make it seem like all the boats in the water, you pour more, everybody rise. That thing ain't worked ever. They don't make no sense. We've been here. We've been here longer than anybody in this darn country, and you gonna sit here and try to tell me we the last in almost every statistical category that's meaningful? We the darn last? We've been here longer than anybody? You trying to tell me Meth can jump in here and jump over us? Arab jump over us? All these people jump over and you gonna try to tell me you pour more water in there where everybody gonna be good? I ain't voting for none of y'all, but yeah, you go do that college debt. How much that thing gonna cost you? A couple trillion? Trillion you gonna do that? Nah, get that to my people. I want all couple trillion of it too. Just cut the check, and that's just the first payment. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk again. I'll give you a couple years to work it up again. Every 5 years, I want at least a $3 trillion payment to my people.
Mark.
And I want half of it to be property. You know what I'm talking about? I want some of it got to be cut my darn check. Don't get me wrong. Cut my darn check. But I want half of it to be property. You hit me all, you know what I'm saying? I want some land. They gave these people land, bro. Land, free land, go get it. They tell these people, go get it, go do something with it. They got the nerve to tell me I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to work harder and you know, build my economy. I gotta feel, you know what I'm saying? These people, and even our people believe, you know, think like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta circulate the black dollar. And this, I'm like, what black dollar? The black dollar is borrowed.
Yeah.
Like, what sense does that make? It's borrowed. So if I borrow $1, all right, from Tasha, let's say Tasha is the white woman, right? I borrow $1. I take the dollar, just pretend, baby, just pretend, halfway pretend. So I take the $1, right? I borrow from Tasha. I give it to T, right? T give it to Daniel. I mean, we circulate money in our community, right? Daniel give it to Shanice, right? Because, I mean, we doing business, right? All this is a sale, right? I bought something from T, right? So I have a product. T then buy something from Daniel. Now, T got a product. And then Daniel bought something from Shanice. So now Daniel got a product, right? Everybody got a product when we get to the end of it, right?
I'm missing.
But Tasha want her darn money. So now I got a product, but I ain't got no dollar. What's about to happen now?
Somebody got to buy it.
Who want to buy this from me? Right? One or two things got to happen. One of y'all got to buy this from me, or I got to go sell this to Tasha. So then I sell it to Tasha, or, you know, another white person, just to break even. So now in my community, what do I have?
None.
What do y'all have?
A product.
Y'all got a product with no money, right? So now what am I going to do?
Borrow again.
Hey, T, you want to loan me $1? What sense does this make? Where did you create money at? The only way you can create it is if you are producing the product, right? Now, if I can say I have a whole bunch of these products that I can sell to these people and outside, now that's generating new money, right? It's not borrowing. When it's borrowing something, that money got to get back, and they got to get back with interest. We didn't even put interest on it. So in real life, I can't just, you know what I'm saying? What I just said in real life, that don't think, we ain't even going to do it with the interest. It's going to hurt our darn brains. It's like, we going to look at that and be like, how in the world black folks been making it so long?
We ain't. Bro, it was a chart saying like from like 30,000 to like 60,000 was like 18% of black people. You know what I'm
From
saying?
30 to what?
I think it was like from like 30,000 yearly income to 60,000. Only 18% of black people make that much. You know what I'm saying? I think 18.
And that's income?
Yeah, like gross. You know, it's like 18 or maybe 20%. But it was really low.
Look, these people try to show me. Income, they hit you with these income stats, and they bad, right? We still a bottom, right? You look at the income, we still a bottom of the bucket, right? They hit you with these income stats and try to make it seem like black people ain't doing that bad, right? If you look at the way income rank, you have African American black people at the bottom right. But it do look, you know what I'm saying, it look decent though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's some good money, you know what I'm saying, they're coming in, right? Overall, if you just look at the, you know what I'm saying, they use the median, I believe. It'll be like, oh, okay, black people, you know what I'm saying? It's like we can manage with that, right? But then when they tell you that and be like, see, black people ain't broke, all we need to do is take some of that money and reinvest it in this, that, and the other, da-da-da. When you look at that, I just want you to look at the whole list and just tell me who at the top. Guess who you're going to see at the top? Indians and Asians. In terms of income. Now take a step back. Think about the world. Are Indian and Asians the richest people in America? Do Indians and Asians own most of America? So is income really indicative of wealth? Well, let's just think about it, right? Let's play the same type of game. Terrence makes $10,000 a month, right? But it costs $9,000 a month to live in Las Vegas, right? So $10,000 a month. Daniel makes $20,000 a month. But guess how much it costs to live in Vegas? $9,000 a month, right? Looking at their income, is that representative of how far apart they are from each other? Terrence is always broke. That boy just never have any money because he just now making. He got $1,000 to stretch every month about stuff that is just luxury, right? Just to live, just to have a house is $9,000 a month for him, right? However, you look at Daniel, he got $20,000 a month. He has half of his income every month that he can just go with, right? Guess what his becomes? Ownership, right? Because since he had that much, you can buy stuff. When you get ownership, you buy. That's less you got to pay out, right? Now you have ownership, it generates more income. When you don't have anything and you just barely scraping, you have debt. Income doesn't tell you how much a person is worth. Income just tells you how much money is coming in. That tells you nothing about what they own. That tells you nothing about their expenses, right? So when they hit you, you're gonna have people when we start having these conversations, because pretty soon we're gonna really start having these conversations. And when we start having these conversations, you're gonna have people hit you off with a median black income and this, that, and other. Black people ain't that. People try to make it seem like black people are poor. Black people ain't really all that poor. If we took this and started buying Jordans.
I hate that.
Talk to me about no darn Jordans. Do you know how sad that is? You know how sad you mean to tell me because I bought some $200 shoes that ruined my life? That in itself is telling you. They always try to make it seem like these white folks only spending reckless money.
Yeah,
Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Ask them how much that watch cost.
Are you silly? Have you seen the stuff? Have you seen their cars?
The wardrobe may look plain, but then you go to
Yeah.
the garage, Rolls Royce.
Who you think wearing Tom Fords? You think black people are wearing Tom Fords? Them is $900 shoes. Look like regular darn dress shoes. You look at these white folks, you think they ain't got on darn nothing. That's because your buddy broke. They know what they got on. They know what they doing. Yeah, they wear their New Balances. Sure, they got their New Balances. That watch, though. That thing different. You don't even know what that thing is.
Glasses.
You over here wearing,
Yep, sunglasses.
what watches we wearing? We wearing Timex. You know what I'm talking about? We wearing,
Fossil.
Harry Ellis.
yeah, we wearing Fossil. You know what I'm saying? We out here with the Fossil watch. We real fancy. We gonna get us an Apple watch. Ooh, with the gold around. You know what I'm talking about? Thinking we doing something. That's us. That's us flossing. These boys got on $250,000 watches. Got a darn house on their darn watch. Easy too. Not even done. But we'll never know. We'll look at it and be like, oh, that's just a nice watch. And that thing's just sport for them. Watch ain't even got a whole bunch of diamonds like we would expect. Ain't even got a whole bunch of diamonds. You know what they build the watch in such a way with such art that they could sell it for a higher price. Right? So they build it and they put it in the mechanics inside of the watch is what it's supposedly what you buy. Right? Same thing. Art itself. These people buy art pieces. Right? Spend thousands and thousands of dollars on art. Nothing. It's art. Right? All this stuff. Reckless money these people be spending. You don't talk to me about some darn $200 shoes that come out once every, you know what I'm saying? How often do J's come out?
Once a month, maybe?
I think they'll come out once a month.
Jay's always in the store, but like the special ones.
The special one. That thing come out maybe twice a year. Maybe 2-3 times a year. They'll drop something. And then maybe you got some Yeezys that'll come out like once every couple years. You know what I'm saying? Them some expensive shoes. Right? So you got some expensive shoes that maybe come out all together 6-7 times a year. And you're not even getting all of them, right? It's like a certain, like, ooh, no, I ain't really into the 10s. Ooh, but the 11s. You know what I'm saying? So you get like, you getting some of them. And you gonna sit here and tell me that's the downfall of the black community? Y'all people lost y'all darn. I can't even have no conversation.
That's the case. Every time I go to the grocery store, that's my downfall.
Listen, if $200 gonna break me, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let me not spend that $200 on shoes. Let me just spend that extra $200 on some more groceries. That fixed it.
Right.
Let me just I got it. I'm gonna put an extra $200 against my light bill. Oh, that solved the problem. I'm not in debt anymore. Shut up. $200 supposed to save the world. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but they'll tell us this stuff and we'll believe it. Although all of the facts that we just talked about are sitting right there in our face. People are trained not to look at facts. They train facts don't even affect us no more. That's why these people can't get to the book. Right? We look into the book, that thing don't affect. We can read this book all day, thing don't affect. Written by a white man. We sit here and just prove there was no white man involved. Right? In terms of drafting the original versions of these books from which what we are looking at now, no white man touched it. Right? We prove it to them. Guess what? 2 weeks later on Facebook, they'll be saying the same thing. White man wrote it. Yeah, whatever.
That thing happened to me.
And they happen all the time. I be sitting there. I be blood and tears telling people, no, but look at this, and here go this, and let me show you this evidence, and slap you with that one. Did you get it? They be like, oh, I ain't never seen that before. 3 weeks later, back on the same time, I be looking like, oh, I got that. Y'all, but y'all ain't about to sit here stress me out. You know what I'm talking about?
That thing,
We good.
that thing deflated your boy, bro.
We good.
I answered all their questions, and they was like, oh, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks later, bro, I just don't understand how. I was like, oh.
Give them how to get rich fast. Better read that, believe that.
I just saw one of my memory, my post memory. Remember when them people was exchanging money, talking about you give me $100, I'll turn it into $500 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, like the
You know,
crowd
give
thing
me,
or something
yeah,
like that.
give me $20, I'll turn it into this, turn it
When
into
the popular
that.
kids got their money and everybody else didn't.
I saw that. I saw the memory of that part. I was like, yeah, y'all remember? I told y'all back then. They wouldn't listen to me. They saying that. I was like, that's a scam. That's a pyramid scheme. It ain't no pyramid scheme. All right.
I ain't seen nobody rich at all to come out of that bad boy. But I know personally.
Everybody playing the game. Everybody playing the darn game is still darn broke. Every one of them still to this day darn broke. Same position they was in the year. Trying to get my $20. I'll slap you with my darn $20. I'm trying to give me my darn $20. I need my darn $20. I don't know why people be playing with money. We broke out here in these streets. Sister told me, she's sitting there. Well, you know. Huh?
I know, I opened up our
I said we cold out here in these
because it
streets.
was cold. But when I walked out here, I could feel all the heat from just downstairs.
Yeah, it feels good in here now.
Our room was ice cold.
Give me Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 64.
You should use it.
It's Isaiah chapter 64. Give me verse 4. It ain't even that cold no more.
Bro, you got all the lights on you.
Yeah, that is true.
You want to stand over here?
No. Whatever, bro. What you laughing for? Why don't you read the Bible?
Ooh.
Why do you ooh? You guys make stuff worse.
For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard nor perceived by ear, neither has the eye seen, O God, besides you, what he has prepared for him that waits for him.
All right.
You meet him that rejoices and works righteousness. Those that remember you in your ways, behold, you are wroth. For we have sinned, in those is continuance, and we shall be saved. For we have sinned, in those is continuance, and we shall be saved. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags.
He said, we are all as an unclean thing, and all of our righteousness is as what?
Filthy rags.
God, it's important for us to understand that. It's another place, we ain't got to get it, but another place, Yahushua said, after you've done everything that was commanded of you, how should you see yourself?
Unprofitable, sir.
as an unprofitable servant. It's important. When he brought our fathers into the land, he said, not by your
Righteousness.
have I done this. He always wants us to remember, I'm doing your but a favor. He said our sin is make us like filthy rags. Our righteousness is like filthy rags on him. Why would it be like filthy rags? We talked about this a little bit last week too. Why would it be like filthy rags?
You curse.
That got that. Book already tell us no man is without what?
Sin.
Okay. Sin, Moses told us in the law that sin what? Anybody who does not continue in all the words of the law is what?
Curse.
Okay. So if no man is without sin, is without sin, and if sin is not following the law, and anybody who doesn't follow a law is cursed, then that means you curse. So that means we would actually have to have something from God to tell us we remove the curse. There's nothing in our law to remove that curse. So when the Most High God is looking at it, he's looking at your righteousness, even though you repented, even though your righteousness is still dirty to me.
So I gotta kill you. Get you a new body.
You gotta die.
Wages of sin is death.
You gotta die. There's no way around it. You gotta die. We be looking like that, like, oh, that's the end. It's sad. Most like God, like, no, that's the means to the end. What you talking about?
Gotta make you clean.
Gotta get you there.
Can't come near me without being clean.
Zechariah chapter 3. Let's get back into it. Try to shoot through some of the. It's Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. Let's try to shoot through it.
You said 3?
Yeah, chapter 3, verse 1. Did we already read 3?
I remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like we already read 3.
I really remember reading it, so.
Yes, we were at 3, 1 through 4, but we stopped at verse 4.
All right, just give me verse 5 then. It's Zechariah chapter 3, verse 5. Give me verse 4.
Man.
Zechariah chapter 3, verse 4.
And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused your iniquity to pass from you, and I will clothe you with a change of raiment.
All right? Your your righteousness is as what?
Filthy rags.
So remember, who is this talking? We were talking about it last week.
Yoshua.
Right? This is Joshua. Right? So Joshua's sitting there and he's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He talking to who? Who remember who he was talking to?
I was talking to Joshua.
Joshua.
The son of Joseph.
Who else? Who is Joshua talking to? Most High. Who else? Who else was there?
Zerubbabel.
Satan was there. Right? And who else? Wasn't it the angels? Was it the sons of God?
Standing before the angel of the Lord and Satan at his right hand to resist him.
Right?
And the Lord said unto Satan.
So then, Most High God told Joshua, he was like, man, listen, man, filthy words, don't worry about it. I'll give you some new garments. That's what happened. If we, even though we doing the right thing, we are covered in filthiness. So the point of our death has to be to build something new around us, right? We have to be reborn. We have to be born again, right? That's where the Christians get it from. They say born again Christian. That's where the term, it come from, born again. They look at it as like, you know what I'm saying, like just some catchphrase. But in reality, it's born again is saying that I have, right now, if I try to say call myself born again now, that would be suggesting that I have the mindset. I'm not actually born again yet. I have the mindset that is going to cause me to be resurrected. At my resurrection, that's me being born a second time. You got to be born once through the water, that's like the canal, right? So a woman, what happened when she about to have a baby, typically? Water break, right? You got to come once through the water, the book say, and then be born once of the Spirit. The only way it can happen is you want to see God, right? So when we have a resurrection, we'll be born through the Spirit, right? That's what we all have to be after. To have a mind that will be fitting to be resurrected. to have behavior that will be fitting to be resurrected. Right? In Galatians chapter 3. Galatians chapter 3, give me verse 10. It's Galatians chapter 3, verse 10.
You don't want to be caught without that wedding garment. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is everyone that continues not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
Mm-hmm.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith.
Mm-hmm.
And the law is not of faith, but the man that does them shall live in them.
Mm-hmm.
Messiah had redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us.
Mm-hmm.
For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangs on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
That the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahushua the Messiah, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith.
Mm-hmm.
Brethren, I speak after the manner of men. Though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man disannuls it or adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said,
promises made to Abraham and his seed. Watch this.
He said not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one,
Mm-hmm.
and to your seed, which is the Messiah.
Right, so this is Paul explaining something in the book that wasn't obvious when we read it. When you first read it, there's a promise made from God directly to Abraham, saying to your seed. Who are we thinking about?
Isaac.
We think about Abraham's son, Isaac. Then Isaac came around. Who remember when we read about Isaac, a promise was made to Isaac, to his seed. Who are we thinking about?
Jacob.
We're thinking about Jacob. Well, we ended up thinking about Jacob, right? And then promise was made to Jacob, right? And then he had 12 sons. Then after that, you get to, you know what I'm saying, fast forward a little bit, then we end up getting to Moses. We thought Moses was the one. Okay, hold on. So it ain't Moses. Then we fast forward some more. Then we get to who?
David.
David. Gotta be David. Then a promise is made to David for his seed. You get Solomon. Gotta be Solomon. I mean, Solomon rich. He's the king, built the temple. Gotta be Solomon. Not Solomon. Right? So it keep going. The seed is talking about one, not many. Keep reading, Marcia. It'll tell you what it's talking about. Because y'all don't know. Who know?
In this I say that the covenant that was confirmed before of God and the Messiah, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect.
Mm-hmm.
For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more promise, but God gave it to Abraham by promise.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore then serveth the law.
Does that make sense? What we just read? If the inheritance comes from the law, it is no more a promise. Why is that?
Because it already happened, right? Like he gave them the land, everybody lived in the land, but they all died, and they're still the Messiah still got to come back and take it forever, just like Mosiah said. So
What about the nature of the law? Right? The nature of the law is saying, you do this, right? You do this, and you will live. If you the man who does these things shall live by them. Right? So the nature of the law is not leaving something, it's not a promise in that it's leaving something out there just like, okay, well,
later.
Yeah, let's just see what happens. It's saying this equals this. Right? If that was the promise, like T said, the law happened. Right? The Most High God gave him the law, and that happened. We look at what Abraham said, and he gave something to Abraham that has not happened yet. Let's see, keep going.
Wherefore then serves the law? It was added because of transgressions till the seed should come to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by angels in the hand of the mediator. Now, a mediator is not a mediator of one, but God is one. Is the law then against the promise of God? God forbid. For if there had been a law given which could give life, verily righteousness should have been by the law.
So if there had been a law which could give life, right, righteousness would have been by the law. So what does that tell us?
It means if there was a law to give life, then the law would have fulfilled that righteousness, and we wouldn't need to be made clean, made whole again.
The law would have did it.
Right.
So that tells us the law didn't give us life. Although, right, it's very precise about what we're reading. It's important you read over it. Who caught what we read at the very beginning when we started? It said, the just shall live by what?
Faith.
And it said, those who walk in the law, right? I'm paraphrasing, but those who walk in the law shall what?
Shall live by it.
Shall live by them. So that sounds like the law is giving you life, right? No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like the law is giving you life. But let's think about it. Just shall live by faith, and those who walk in the law will live by them. Who walked in the law?
The Messiah.
Did he live?
Yeah.
The law gave him life. Did he give us life?
Yeah. He will.
No, did the law give us
No,
life?
it did not give us life.
Gave us death because we didn't walk in it. We sinned.
We cursed.
Right? So you sin, curse. You do it, you live. Yahushua did it and lived. He is the only one.
That's
Through
why,
him we get life.
even though he was killed, God had to bring him back because the law said that he should.
According to the law, he resurrected.
He got to keep his promise.
Right? So he was able to rise up on the third day because he walked completely in the law. Otherwise, everything that y'all does, it has to line up, right? It has to be somewhere in the book, like he has to have some precedent for it. So when he did it, he's like, okay, if you obey all the law, you deserve life. You got life, right? You shall live by it. The man did all the law and was killed. According to God's promise, you have to be resurrected.
So you gotta bring
That promise doesn't apply to us. So what Paul's explaining right now is he's explaining here like, listen, if the law had life for us, right? Not in general, but just had life specific to us, had something that could save us, then our righteousness would have came by the law. But it don't. It has to come now through Yahushua, the one who was able to keep the law. Right? Watch it. Keep going.
But the scripture has concluded all under sin that the promise of by faith of Yahushua might be given to them that believe.
Mm-hmm.
But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto the Messiah, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster, for you are the children of God by faith in Yahushua.
Mm-hmm.
For as many of you as have been baptized unto the Messiah have put on the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
There is neither Jew nor Greek, nor bond nor free. There is neither male or female, for you are all one in the Messiah Yahushua.
Right? So he said that we put on Yahushua. We put on the Messiah. Right? So we had filthy rags, right? The reason why we're going to this is because we were looking at Joshua. Joshua was talking to Most High God, got the angel and Satan there, right? Most High God told Joshua, you wearing what?
Filthy garments.
Filthy garments. Don't worry about it though. I'm going to give you what?
Clean garments.
Clean garments, right? He said our righteousness is as filthy rags. We mosey on along with our filthy rag, but we being righteous, right? We repented, we turned from all sin. We still look like filthy rags to the Most High God. At the end, we have to put on what?
Correct. Messiah.
Yahushua. So by putting on Yahushua, we cover the filthy with the clean. That's what all this is about, right? We behave in a way that Yahushua says is righteous. Therefore, we appear as righteous to the Most High God. Otherwise, he would reject us in his sight. Right? So because we can appear that we are righteous in his sight, by way of Yahushua and his righteousness, we put on the righteousness of Yahushua. Right? Grab Luke chapter 10. This is how the law, these are topics, like the topic that we talk about here, these are topics that I'm telling you these people don't get. I haven't met a person randomly, right? I haven't met a person my entire life that understands these topics. These are the ones, like these are the golden ones here. Here's the one you understand this, that you can make some sense of some stuff, right? Because it explains the relationship of the law and righteousness and what does it take to be saved. Like these are the pivotal questions.
To the majority, it's either the law or the Messiah. Like
That's
the law
extremes.
or the New Testament. Like they don't know they both work together.
And they'll say they do, right? They be like, oh, you'll hear people run their mouth. The law and the new word, it all work together. But just let them talk long enough, and you'll see you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask some very clear questions. Is it a sin if you get circumcised? Like somebody who believes the law, right? Be like, you know what I'm saying? Like put their trust in the law to the fact that they think that the law saved them. Is it a sin if you get circumcised? If you don't get circumcised, is that a sin? Well, no. There's only two things they can say. They can say yes or no. If they say yes, it's a sin, you don't get circumcised, then you take them to Paul. And Paul tells people you don't need to get circumcised. So now they gotta throw out Paul. That's where you get the ones that I don't believe the New Testament or this, that, and that. That's where that group come from. Or they gonna say no, it's not a sin. And as soon as you say no, it's not a sin, then you take them to the law and you be like, well, no, the law says you got to do it. So why is it okay to break that part of the law and not the other? In your mind, it's an answer for it, right? In reality, it's an answer for it. Why is it okay to break that part of the law? And I don't want to say okay, that's a strong word, right? But why can a person break that part of the law and still make it into the kingdom?
So that part of the law was given to our people. When the Messiah came, he called everybody to repentance. So that was a burden that wasn't put on the Gentiles, and that was nothing. It was nothing that required salvation according to the Messiah. Also, our whole nation was getting taken away, so we wouldn't even have the luxury to do certain things in the law that was required of us because our nation and the temple and everything was taken away.
So put simply, all that's true, but really the mechanics of what we're talking about is obey Yahushua. Yahushua didn't give that commandment. Right? That is a commandment in the law. Factual. Right? The law cannot save you and was not designed to save you specifically. It was designed to save Yahushua because he was going to be completely righteous. He was not going to be in a filthy garment. He was going to be in a righteous garment, and he still was going to get killed. So it was designed to resurrect him. And so when he's resurrected, him keeping the law, he says, these are my commandments. If you do that, I'll let you wear my clean garments.
So keeping the Messiah's commandments, you keep the law.
Right.
By doing that, you are credited for keeping the law.
Right.
Because Moses even said it. He said whatever he says is required of you.
Right.
Right? God
And that's in what?
Deuteronomy, the law.
I got
Yeah.
that.
Remember that.
So if you obey the Messiah, you obeying the law, no matter what.
Right? So that's what the mechanics is. Salvation. You got two different things. Right? You got two different things that we're talking about. Right? Oh, wow, I made that a lowercase. All right. So you got salvation, right? Then you also got grace.
Great.
Yeah, great. So if you want salvation, who you got to talk to? Got that. Got to talk to Yahushua, right? If you got salvation, you got something else you can go for, right? You got to have this one, right? To get to this, you got to start here, right? So you got salvation, but I don't want to stop at salvation. I'm an overachiever. I always got A+ in school. So you know what you can get? You can be great in the kingdom if you want, right? Salvation, you got to listen to Yahushua. Right? You listen to Yahushua, that'll give you salvation. Right? If you want to be great in the kingdom, though, what do you got to do?
Keep the law.
You got to keep the law. If you don't keep the law, right? I don't keep the law, I'm not great. But I do what Yahushua say, still saved. If I do keep the law, I'm great. And I'm saved. If I keep the law and don't listen to Yahushua, I'm on my way right to hell and I'm working hard for it. I mean, I'm doing a whole lot of extra stuff just to take my butt right to hell. That's crazy. That don't make no sense. Whatever you do, requirement, keep law. Mm-hmm. This, extra credit. This is good. This will make this easier. Right? This will line you up even tighter than this. You already going to be tight keeping doing what Yahushua say. And then you start doing the law, that's going to make it even tighter for you. It's going to come with a lot of benefits for you. It's going to be more challenging, but it's going to be easy. It's going to be more challenging for you, but easier to stay in salvation. Right? It'll protect you more when it comes to salvation. Overall, you can be great in the kingdom. It's going to teach you how to serve your people, how to love your people. And those are the things that make you. Really what makes you great in the kingdom is being a servant. Right? Being a servant to your people, that's what makes you great in the kingdom. The law teaches you how to serve. Right? If you keep the law, then you are serving your people. If you do that while saying, or doing that while obeying Yahushua, you will be great in the kingdom. That relationship, people don't get. And that's all book. Right? Let's keep going. This is Luke chapter 10. Give me 21.
In that hour, Yahushua rejoiced in spirit and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hid these things from the wise.
He said, but you hid these things. I mean, these things, look. I mean, we talk about the man. Thank God. Can y'all believe that? You look at this. This is the Son of God. Oh, glorious, sweet Jesus.
White Jesus with the floor, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With the hands and nails in his hand.
The man sat there and thanked the Father that people didn't get it. That's different from what they sold to us. They sell us to loving, like, oh, I'll sacrifice everything to make sure you know. That's my only, I just want you to know. That's not the man's testimony. Man just said, I thank you, Father, that you hid it from me. You know what I'm saying? Watch it. Keep on.
I thank thee, O Lord of heaven and earth, Father, O Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hid these things from the wise and prudent and has revealed them unto babes. Mm-hmm. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in your sight. All things are delivered to me of my Father, and no man knows who the Son is but the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. And he turned him unto his disciples and said privately, Blessed are your eyes which see these things that you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
Watch this.
And he said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest
First thing
thou?
he said to him, what's in the law? How do you read it? Watch this.
And he answering said, Thou shalt love thy Lord, thy God, with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto him, You have answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Yahushua, who is my neighbor? And Yahushua answering and said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment.
Right, so he went from Jerusalem to Jericho. Right? That means he's going north.
And wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went on him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave them to the host, and said unto them, Take care of him, and whatsoever you spend more, when I come again, I will repay you. Which now of these 3 do you think was a neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. Then said Yahushua unto him, Go and do likewise.
Right? So we look at it, he gave him a parable there, and he had basically just saying, because the man asked him, he was like, you know what I'm saying, who is my neighbor? He said, love your neighbors. He was like, okay, well, who's my neighbor? So naturally we would think, well, we Hebrews, so
Our brother.
our people was our neighbor.
Right.
So then he gave him a scenario where his own people, when he was hurt, walked right on by him. However, a Samaritan, remember, who's a Samaritan?
The Gentiles that was placed in the north after the Israelites got taken.
Right? Remember we talked about them Gentiles that came that the king of Assyria brought into our land and put them there, and the animals start eating them up. Then they was like, oh, the animals eating us up because we don't know the God of this land. So they brought some more of the people from the northern tribe to come back and teach them, but they taught them the Bible all wrong. They had believing it all wrong. They had serving our God and serving their gods and making a darn mess. That's the Samaritans. So we didn't mess with no darn Samaritan. We looking at Samaritan like, man, you know what I'm saying? So he purposely included the Samaritan in this parable. He was like, okay, your own people passed you up, but the Samaritan came and helped you and took you to a hotel and paid for it and made sure that the person was paid to take care of you. He's like, who was the neighbor to you in that situation? He's like, well, it'd be the one to have mercy on him. So he told him, all right, well, then you do likewise. So in other words, what he was telling him is, all right, if you see somebody hurt, even if they not your people, help them out, right? Look after them. And the people who do righteousness in that way, those are your brothers. Those are your neighbors, right? He refocused it. He was like, listen, what he was trying to prepare us for, because remember, we was all to ourselves at this point. The word was given directly to us. It wasn't really spread out around the world. Although it was available to the world, it was focused on a location, really, for the most part, right? It was focused in Israel. So you really are coming to Israel or coming to Hebrew people to get the word. He knew that we were going to be scattered out into the world, and then it was going to open everything up. So he had to make it less about who we are as a people, less about our nationality, right? And that's what he is preparing everybody for. He's like, eventually, y'all ain't even going to know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? So you sitting here making it all about being Hebrew. You're not going to know who you are soon, right? So let me prepare you for that. You go out and you do likewise, right? People going to be righteous. That's your neighbors. People that look after one, that's your neighbor. People who follow my word, those are your neighbors, right? Grab, or keep going.
Now it came to pass as they went, and he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahshua's feet and heard his word.
Mm-hmm.
Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone?
Right, Martha was cumbered about. What does that mean?
Busy.
Martha was busy. Martha was trying. Yahushua came into town. Martha was like, oh, I got to get this ready. Let me finish cooking. Let me make sure everything is clean. Make sure everybody taken care of. She was darn cumbered about, right? But Mary, what did Mary do?
She was at Yahshua's feet.
Mary, she saw Yahushua. She got right to his feet. She didn't care about nothing. She got right to his feet trying to learn.
Heard the word.
So Martha, she came, she complained to Yahushua. She was like, oh, that don't even bother you that I'm sitting here doing all this work and my sister ain't even helping me. That don't even bother you. She looking at Yahushua, was like, oh, that ain't even a problem for you. I'm out here, I'm trying to make it happen. That ain't even a problem for you that she out here, you just letting her sit down. Watch what Yahushua say.
And Yahshua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, you are careful and troubled about many things. But
right? You worried when they say careful. It said you worried and you letting all this stuff trouble you. Right? Watch this.
But one thing is needful.
He said one thing is needful. In other words, one thing is required. Right? We talk about it. One thing is required. What's required?
Salvation.
Well, yeah, but how do we get that?
Obeying Yahshua.
It's required to obey Yahushua. Where is Mary right now?
Mary is at Yahshua's feet hearing the word.
She getting it from the man. So he trying to tell her it's only one thing that's required. Sure, it's the law represent work for us, right? That's what this is showing us, right? It's showing us work versus salvation. The law represents works for us, right? Nothing wrong with works, but there's one thing required. If you don't get that first, what's the point? We ain't got to get it, but in Acts, right? There was an argument because you had, I almost want to get it. You had Gentiles and you had Hebrews, right? And when it came for people to come and get their daily bread and get food and get taken care of, you had Gentiles saying, man, these Hebrews, it was reversed. Remember, the racism stuff that we experience now is fairly new, right? It was reversed. They were like, man, the Hebrews are getting taken care of before us Gentiles, right? And it rose up a dispute.
Until they're not taking care of our widows.
Yeah, they say our widows, you know what I'm saying? Our widows not being taken care of, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure it's good. Why the Hebrew getting taken care of, not us. Right? How the Gentiles is looking at it. It rose up a dispute. And what did Paul say? You remember?
He said it is not need for us to stop serving or preaching the word of God to wait tables. Was it Paul or was it Peter or John?
Now I want to get it. What is it, 8?
It wasn't Paul.
Was it 7?
This was before Paul even came on the scene.
Is it Acts 7?
It is 8 or 7. It's right before
Let's
Stephen.
see it. Let's
It's
go
right
for it.
before they chose Stephen.
Oh, we got there. We're going to come back. Oh, we got there.
It's gotta be the end of 7, I think.
Yeah, you're right, though. It is early for Paul. I don't remember what it was, though.
It's 7. No, 6. Wow.
6.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, it's 6.
Let's get it. What verse?
1.
This is Acts chapter 6, verse 1. Watch what the book say.
And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables.
Right? He said, it doesn't make sense for us to stop preaching the word or stop learning the word for us to go serve tables to make sure some darn widows is taken care of. Listen, it is important for widows to be taken care of. That's not what he's trying to say. It's important to take care of the darn widows. That's part of our commandment by Yahushua, right? We got to take care of the people that's not taken care of. That period. It's important for us to take care of the widows, right? These are not just random widows on the street. These are widows of the faith. It's important for them to be taken care of. He said, that don't make no sense for us to stop and leave the word of God to wait tables for some widows. That just doesn't make sense. It's one thing that's needful. So let's look at the solution.
Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and the ministry of the word.
That's it. We're going to keep serving. We're going to keep speaking his word. We're going to keep teaching his word. Y'all find somebody else that'll wait at these darn table. Right? And they didn't just find anybody. It said men filled with the Spirit. Right? So these are righteous men that's doing it. That's important. Like the priorities. Let's go back. Luke, and try to finish that out, and we can get up out of here.
That was the last chapter.
That was the last verse?
Yeah, that was the end of it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Read the last couple verses again, then. What I missed? You feel like that's where it's supposed to end.
But one thing is needful, and Mary has chosen that good part which shall not be taken away from her.
Right? So the one thing, hearing the word of God, serving Yahushua, learning at his feet, that won't be taken away. Right? That has to be our goal. That has to be our priority. All this other stuff, we're going to start learning. And y'all know how most of y'all who've been around for long enough, y'all know how, you know what I'm saying? Well, I started off with that mindset. I started off like, listen, you know what I'm saying? We ain't getting out here feeding a whole bunch of homeless. We're not about to do a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? We just not about to get out here and do a whole bunch of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? The main thing, one thing we always gonna do is hear this word. Maybe we'll get to some of this other stuff. None of that other stuff is important to me. You get to talk to, but what do y'all do for the community? These people tell you, what do y'all do for the community? Because that's their first mind. Their very first mind. They start a church or whatever. Very first mind is do some community work. Nothing wrong with community work. Don't get me wrong. But it's one thing that's needful. That's it. One thing that's needful. If you ain't got that, you are killing time. Killing time. Right? You give me a solid group of people that know this word, understand the word, can teach the word, and obey the word. All right, let's go do some work. Let's go do community work. Right? If we ain't got that, what's the point? If we got a group of people that's hypocriting and sinning and struggling and crying and moaning all the time because it's getting tough and this, that, and other, what I'm sit here and leave the work of the Most High God to go feed somebody? It just doesn't make sense to me. Then the I wouldn't even feel right. I tried it before, and right after we did it, something happened. I'm looking like, yeah, that thing don't even feel right to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I just did something wrong. I feel like I might have sinned. Like, oh man, I just messed up. We had out some darn hot dogs. Now everybody in the shambles. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we left the work. Right? Let's do what's needful. Got a mind, I'll hire somebody to go do it. You know what I'm saying? Go feed these people for me. We about to learn this word right now. Go ahead and go feed them. Don't worry about it. Right? That got to be our mind. Do the work, do the work, do the work. Do what Yahushua say. Right? Once we got that, then we can get in this community. Any questions? All right, let's pray out.